Am I the asshole for setting a 11 p.m. curfew on my husband? I know. He's a grown man, but let me explain. We have a 4-month child together and not once has he helped me beyond changing a diaper, maybe once a week. I do all of the cooking, cleaning, and 99% of the baby care has been all me. I've asked him to take an overnight shift before, but he's snapped at me saying, "I work so I need my sleep so I can put food on the table for you." TBH, that stung, but I dropped it after that. Anyway, weekdays he works all day and he's so exhausted when he comes home. He only wants to hang out or play games with his brothers and drink beer. I tell him I appreciate him working so I can take care of our son and go to school. I cook. I clean and do his laundry so he can just rest. Weekends he doesn't work, so I feel like he can help a little more. On top of being a full-time mom, I'm also finishing up my final semester in college. So on weekends, he had agreed to watch the baby for at least an hour so I can submit assignments on time, which is usually the Sunday at 11:59 kind of deal. Or let me take a shower since this child is glued to my hip rest of the day. Hence the 11 p.m. curfew, so I have an hour to do my timed exams, which is just enough time for me to complete. He has yet to respect the agreed upon time for him to come home, so not only can I shower and get schoolwork done, we can spend quality time as husband and wife since he's busy all week and goes out every weekend. When he told his brothers and coworkers about his curfew, I was immediately labeled as a controlling, nagging bitch of a wife. It hurt. I don't argue with him and my requests are asked in a calm and collected manner. I have an exam due on Sunday. Can you make some time to help me so I can knock it out? I guess if you're not there, it's easy to assume. Despite that, he won't come home on weekends until 1 or 2 a.m., ignoring my text when I remind him of my timed exams and homework. Then snaps at me because I don't let him reward himself for working all week. I'm really hurt at the name-calling. I pride myself in being laid back, flexible, and understanding. Am I the asshole? Should I just forget about the curfew? Edit. Just so I'm not repeating myself, English is not my first language. I didn't realize until now that the word curfew has a negative meaning behind it. I didn't mean to belittle him. That's on me. Also, thanks for all of the support. I didn't expect that. I'm definitely looking around into finding a good counselor for us. I've already called our insurance and got a list of names. We had a solid marriage before the baby. If we can work it out, I'd like to do that. Until then, I'm looking into a local mom group to get some support until I finish college. Or the counseling works and my husband steps up. Update. So many of you have been so supportive and I can't thank you enough for it. Even though it's strangers on Reddit, it means a lot to me to be cheered on to continue my education and caring for my son. For info. My husband wasn't always like this. 8 years together and he always helped me somehow. Chores. Encouraging me to change my degree at the age of 24 because I was just miserable. Supporting me when my best friend backstabbed me. Staying up all night and taking 8 days off work when I miscarried with our first so he could take care of me. You guys helped me realize these red flags and the courage to realize I need to put my foot down. Being laid back isn't going to save our marriage. Last night, when my husband got home, we sat down and talked. Really talked. We stayed up late. I told him we need counseling or I'll leave if this continues. And that I'm going to my only family, about 2,000 miles away, so there's not chance of seeing either one of us unless he flies out. By the look on his face, I guess he didn't realize how bad it had gotten. The thing he joked to coworker and brothers, apparently only the collective 3, was something they said. In the moment, he'd laughed it off. He didn't realize this locker room talk would affect me. He said he will stop them and never call me that again. This morning, I woke up to breakfast and coffee at my bedside. I got a text asking if I'd like to go grocery shopping while he watches the baby when he gets home today so I have an hour or two to myself and get out of the house. I hope it keeps getting better. We have had a good 8 years together. If possible, I'd like to continue that. One more thing. To the people calling me sexist and that it's my fault for marrying him, it's easy to assume when you weren't there. It's hard to put my entire relationship with this man into one Reddit post. Thanks everyone. Bear hugs all around, yellow heart. Not the asshole. Finish school, get a job, and GTFO. He's the damn father, he should take care of the kid just as much FFS. So he gets all these breaks, but when do you get one? Not the asshole, and I bet you can guess what everyone's advice is going to be. I wish you the best, and also for your baby. Good luck in school. I hope you take the time to read what you wrote as if your dearest Most beloved friend wrote it and what you might say to them. Sorry. You're married to a fucking asshole. You have a 4-month-old child together. He should not be out unless it's for work, period. The child is the focus. When I had my son, I would have never even thought to go out S&D party until 2 a.m. while my poor wife and child were at home. Time to start laying down some ultimatums. Look, I may be an asshole for saying this, but what are your chances should you decide to leave this person? Financially, if you finish college, can you and your baby make it? Do you have family to help? This is my reasoning for this. You married him so you'd be equal partners and share responsibility for life together. What's the point of being with someone if they're not helping you? Might as well do it alone. Which you are doing alone. So, what's his contribution again? We have a 4-month child together and not once has he helped me beyond changing a diaper, maybe once a week. Not the asshole. Didn't need to read past this. He's an asshole and not helping you at all. He's not babysitting his own child, he should be parenting. It's not even about quality time between the two of you right now. He's being a useless parent who's making it even harder for you. Being a stay-at-home parent is a 24/7 job with no breaks and he's being a lazy brat. Not the asshole. I'm actually furious for you. I don't know how you put up with it so calmly. You carried y'all's baby for 9 months and went through probably insufferable labor. I'm pretty sure he's been working for a long time. This ain't nothing new. You don't get to blame work for not taking care of your kid, period. He wouldn't have to be the only one providing if he'd let you finish up your damn college. I'm so sorry for you going through this. I wish we could see into the future how people will be before we have kids with them, but I'm gonna pray for you and I hope your situation gets better. I hope he realizes what an amazing wife he has, because I would have ripped his head off already. He has agreed to watch the baby for at least an hour a week? What the actual hell? Not the asshole, not even a little bit. It's not going to get any better. I would cut my losses now. You'll have less work to do as a single parent. At least some of that time spent cooking for him could be spent on submitting those assignments he can't even be bothered to parent his own kid for. Stop doing his laundry and dishes. If he asks why, tell him, I work so I need my sleep so I can take care of our baby. Am I the asshole for not allowing an alcoholic to come on vacation? Edit 2. This was the 6th cottage trip. We would sometimes take 2 in one summer. The last 2 trips, Linda was a drunken mess. The first 3, she was fine. Just so we're clear. I, 36M, have a group of friends, 5 of us in total, I've known for 20 so years. In the last 10 years though, we drifted apart as I was the only one to start a family. But a couple of summers ago, one person from the group, Linda, rented a cottage. We all went and had a blast. We agreed that from then on, each summer we would try to go at least once now. Problem started last summer. 2 of the friends, 40 ISHM and F, are married and the wife is Linda. She has apparently developed a drinking problem. I know there's been some issues in their marriage and I think that's why. She was never much of a drinker before, so I never had to deal with her being this drunk. We went up to the cottage. This would be the 5th time we went, for 3 nights, and she was a mess. She was asleep for 70% of the time, and when she woke up, she'd be pissy and disoriented. Then when she even tried to join in on conversations, she'd constantly repeat herself, and jokes, and think it was hilarious. I was driven up by Linda and husband, Rick, so I couldn't even leave early. At the end of the trip, Linda and I had a talk and she was very apologetic, and I told her she needs to get her shit together or else no one will want to hang out with her. She again said how things in her life have not been that great and she's trying, but I didn't care. How hard is it not to drink that much for 3 days? I guess a few weeks later, she thought she could patch everything up by organizing another cottage trip for later in the summer. She organized all of them before, but I said, no thanks. This summer, I wanted to go again but didn't want to deal with Linda. I booked the cottage myself and told the rest of our friends and Linda's husband. But I called up Rick and said, hey, listen, I want you to come up but Linda can't. I told him that I really wanted this vacation to relax and didn't want to deal with Linda. He was angry at first, said Linda has made progress but I've heard him lie for her before, so I said, sorry but that's the deal. No one else in the friend group said anything to me either, and later even Linda said she understood, though she was really sad to be left out, especially because due to COVID, she said she wouldn't be able to rent a cottage with her husband on their own. I never questioned if I was the asshole, but now, months later, my wife is telling me that I was a big one for forcing this to happen, and the rest of our friends just went along to keep the peace, which also apparently included Linda. She said Linda probably didn't say anything because she knew she messed up and was hoping things would eventually smooth out. So am I an asshole for just wanting to have a relaxing time at a cottage I rented? Edit. Just to be clear, Linda rented a cottage twice that summer and both times she did this. I thought she'd get it together after the first time, but apparently not. So yeah, I gave her another chance, but it's been a long year for everyone and I didn't want to take a chance and have to deal with her if she had a relapse. You are the asshole. She needs help, a friend, and to not be separated from her husband. You are the asshole. Wow. Talk about giving someone a reason to drink. You don't want to go hang out with her when she drinks, that's fine. That means you don't go. But to publicly ostracize her in her friend group and essentially bully the rest of them into choosing sides. Yuck. I'm surprised any of them are friends with you. Way to kick a friend when she is down. You know someone for 20 years and kick them out of the friend group and call them alcoholic after 3 bad days? Linda even started this vacation tradition, and all the years before she didn't got drunk and you didn't have to deal with her. Do you expect to be treated that harshly? Honestly, I find it baffling that no one spoke up about how fucked up it is that you decided that. You are the asshole. Adir, your edit is bullshit. If you weren't there the second time, you didn't give her a second chance. You are the asshole big time. You abandoned a friend who admits she has a drinking problem without giving her a second chance to put things right. Purposefully excluding her from a support network and invited her husband but not her. Okay, look at as if it was your wife, how would you feel? She again said how things in her life have not been that great and she's trying, but I didn't care. How hard is it not to drink that much for 3 days? You are the asshole. Newsflash, addiction is hard, and apparently for you so is empathy. You are the asshole. I'm a recovering alcoholic, 10 months sober today. And I would not be here today if I hadn't had good friends that supported my recovery instead of telling me to get my shit together. Alcoholism will lead you down a dark and isolating path, and you're attempting to isolate her even further. Clearly Linda needs help. And a much better friend than you. You are the asshole. Lol, there is no way this is a true story. There is a limit to how much of an one can be. You are the asshole. Solidly. She'd never had an issue before with drinking, was having a hard time, and her husband both said she was making progress, but you gave her 0 chances even when they tried to make a second trip in the same year. What the worst case, you and your friends just have a fun but dry weekend. Or she comes and just is the same, but you don't rely on them for a ride. You forced the rest of your friends to go without them both, or worse, made Rick leave Linda behind even though they were both part of the group and married to each other. You ruined the spirit of the get-togethers with the group, not Linda. You intentionally split the group apart over one rough patch in a supposed friend's life. You didn't even attempt to help her or show sympathy for what she was going through. Am I the asshole for not letting boyfriend visit his dad and stay for lunch? Hi. Throwaway account. I'm hoping you could shed some light into my situation. My boyfriend and I live together. His parents live around 10 minutes away from us. On weekends or random days of the week he would come home for a meal to check on them and everything. That's how things are before lockdown. At the moment my city is on full lockdown. Citizens are only allowed to go out for groceries like once every 2 days, and only for 2 hours. You will be given a paper pass with local authority stamp on it to prove to the patrol polices on the streets that you are within your rights to go out and get food. Or you will be fined $200. Since lockdown affects our economy greatly, many people were laid off. We have a platform for people who need help on groceries and everything else to post online and have others help them out. I saw a few families that needed help, and at first I was going to use the passes to go out to deliver food for these families, but I couldn't gather enough passes, so I used a delivery service. So my boyfriend wanted to go home and check on his dad since his mom is stuck at his sister who lives pretty far away. She went to his sister's for a visit, but then lockdown happened and she couldn't get back home, so his dad is alone. We bought groceries for him a few times, but just dropping them off during the hours we were allowed out. This time boyfriend wanted to stay for lunch, which is out of allowable hours, only 8:11 a.m. and 4:06 p.m. I told him I don't want him to stay for lunch because 1, it risks him getting contaminated with COVID-19, and 2, he might be caught by the police and fined $200, which is not a small amount of money to me. He argued that he has to go, and if he were fined it's his money. We got into a huge fight, full on screaming. Since we lived together, I feel like if he loses money it will be like I lose money. And I didn't want him to separate us by saying things like, my problems, I'll deal with it, because it could then be said the very same to me. He said that I myself was gonna break the law anyway by trying to deliver food for donation like I mentioned earlier. I told him I don't forbid him to go check on his father or anything, it's just that I don't want him risking being fined by the police and prolonging his stay outside, which is dangerous. He said he could find shortcuts that won't meet the police's and won't see anyone during his trip, but I told him such things can't be foreseen, that he hasn't gotten caught doesn't necessarily mean he won't. And that if everyone behaves like he is right now, then the lockdown would have been useless since people always have a reason to go out. I also have families that live right nearby I'd like to check out but can't. But that was that, and I guess we never heard each other during the argument. I know legally I'm right because it was literally the law not to go out. But ethically, apparently according to him I'm not right and not sympathetic. So, am I the asshole? Edit. So, just in case it was too long. I just want to say I absolutely do not forbid him to see his dad. I want him to go on allowable hours, written on the passes given to us by the authority. That is all. You are the asshole. His dad is alone, day in and day out, separated not only from his children, but his wife. Time spent with parents is worth more than $200. Sorry the gov is doing this to you. You are the asshole. I know the law stuff, I know the fines and stuff, but I am going out on a limb here and guessing your BF's father is on the older side and likely struggling with being alone. Being that you're not this man's child, I would guess he's not expressed this to you. Perhaps your boyfriend is trying to help him cope. While yes, by the letter of the law, you are right. He's on the moral side of this one. Not the asshole. Taking risks like that during a lockdown without good reason is stupid, and you were right to tell him not to. A lot of people have had to make much bigger sacrifices during lockdowns. It's selfish of him to think that he should be an exception. You are the asshole. I understand wanting to be cautious and abiding the law, but he's not visiting his friends socializing. He's checking on his father. If the pandemic has taught anything, it's to value family. You are the asshole. No question. Not the asshole. He can always use different forms of communication to check on his dad instead of going there in person. He has to have a cell phone, and internet, if you're posting this here. That being said, he is the asshole since he wants to risk not only his health but yours as well, to physically see someone, when in this day and age, there are so many other forms of communication to check in on people. And as you even said, you don't want him to not see his dad, you just want him to go about it the right, legal way. So no, not the asshole. Although if he acts like this constantly, that's a red flag, babes. Not sure if people are reading OP's post or just randomly being anti-lockdown. OP did not forbid her boyfriend from seeing his dad, but just doesn't want him to stay for lunch, thereby breaking the law by being out during times when it is forbidden. Nah. OP is technically in the right. But boyfriend is not an asshole for wanting to do something normal like have lunch with his dad. These are the times we are living in at the moment, and OP, if it makes you feel better, these arguments are happening in many homes. Not the asshole. He would be breaking the law, risking a fine and risking the health of all three of you. I'm not sure from your post, if the usual dropping off food was with distance, or if it involves physical contact. If he's gonna be meeting with his father anyway, then the risk of spreading the disease isn't higher by him eating there. Maybe suggest brunch instead? Within allowed hours. But if you usually just drop off food, without physical contact, then keep up with that. He should not risk your health just to sit down with his father. We all have to make sacrifices in these times to protect the ones we love. Would I be the asshole if I don't attend my BF's birthday party because of his mom? I've, 23F, been with my boyfriend, 27M, for a year and a half and his birthday was coming up. I'm not the type of person to do grand gesture, but he's the first person I see myself settling down with and I wanted to do something special. A month ago I asked if I can plan his B-day, he agreed and seemed excited. So I started and decided to do it at this really nice and pretty well-known restaurant in our city, and since my dad knew the owner I asked for special favors. I asked to do some signature drinks and I even placed an order of specialized pastries and desserts from this cute bakery and was given the go-ahead to bring it. There was also a lot of headache surrounding the attendees as I was only allowed to reserve for 10 people, and I had to make sure everyone had their QR codes or immunization cards, because you can't sit in the same table if you're not vaccinated or live in the same household. There was a lot of communication going on. This was happening during my summer courses, so I was somewhat stressed. Fast forward yesterday night. He called and proceeded to tell me that his mom wanted the entire extended family for his birthday and it would be best to have it in her house. There are no restrictions in place for household gatherings and it will be in backyard. He said he tried to tell her no, but his grandma intervened and he gave in. His birthday is literally 5 days away, and it's honestly unbelievable that he would relent when I spent all this time and energy into planning it, and I'm so embarrassed that I made so much demands from the owner and then to have to call and say, oops, never mind. He was really apologetic, but I still can't believe someone would do this, especially since I was communicating with them. He told me we can still go to the restaurant at lunch, just the two of us, and then go to the party at his parents' house. He said he really wants to spend his birthday with me and he'll make it up to me. I told him I can't even think about spending the day with him, much less his mom, after being so inconsiderate. I'm really conflicted. It's his birthday, but this is upsetting. I'm angry at both him and his mom. I don't think I can stomach being polite. Would I be the asshole if I don't spend his birthday with him? Edit. Hi guys. I just wanted to address a couple of things and also wanted to let you know my decision. I decided not to attend the party or the plans we made with his friends for his birthday weekend. I saw a lot of suggestions about inviting my own friends instead, but I feel really embarrassed about the entire thing and I would much rather not be reminded of it. Some are worried about the loss of income, so I talked to my dad and he said that won't even bother him and he wouldn't care. I trust his assessment on this one because they golf together a lot, so he knows him better. But I'm still going to apologize in person. Thanks for all the advice. You guys were really helpful. I thought my friends were just being their loyal self and siding with me, so it's great to see some bias-free opinions. Not the asshole. Skip the birthday. If boyfriend is 27 and still can't stand up to his family, he has some growing up to do and needs help understanding consequences of his decisions. Not the asshole. It's kind of weird that at 27, his mom is still planning, the entire family comes over for dinner, birthdays, and he's not allowed to say no. Do you really want to settle down with this person? Your boyfriend is a major and #X200B. So he prioritized his mom over you. His mom is an asshole too, for her power play. And #X200B. And #X200B. Make it more than not spending his birthday with him. Make it so for the rest of your life. He has shown you he will sideline you without any consideration the moment mom calls. Do you want that for your life? And #X200B. Maybe tell him you organized that party for him, and you agreed on plans. If he cannot be reliable, he is not boyfriend material. If he wants his mom that much, let her have him. Drop him. You deserve better, not the asshole. I married a boy like this. Almost same situation. I married him anyway. Then divorced him after 6 months when their behavior became worse. Your boyfriend is inconsiderate and can't stand up to his controlling mom. Not the asshole, but if you don't go, be prepared for it to be game on with her. Not the asshole. You made plans and commitments. He could easily ask his mother to move the family party to another day. He is putting you in an awkward position with the restaurant owner. If he values your relationship, your efforts, and your dignity, he will tell his mother to move her party to another day. If he doesn't, then you know how it will always be. YWNBTA. Just FYI. You do not have a problem with your BF's mom. You have a problem with your BF. He is the one who gave you the go-ahead to plan the party, and he and his family were fully aware of the time and effort you put into planning this party, but he didn't have the backbone to stand up to his mother. They could have had a extended family gathering the day after your planned party. Your boyfriend is pushing 30 and will not say no to his mother. He had a choice to make here and he did not choose you. I would choose not to attend. If you truly want a future with this man, then this is an issue that needs to be resolved ASAP. Not the asshole. I feel so bad for you. If I were you, I'd go in person to cancel, bring your boyfriend, and ugly cry while apologizing profusely. Also, apologize to your dad, and have BF apologize too, since you screwed his friend over, through no fault of your own. Let him see the consequences of those things too, not just the not going to the new party. Not the asshole. He should have told his mom that you are planning, but that you'd both be happy to attend a larger party at his mom's house soon after. Instead, he caved in and negated everything you had done for him.